Hi everyone, hope y'all are doing well. The poll that I want to do today is understanding about myself. Like I'm feeling a lot of like anger and frustration about what's going on in my country, and it seems like the haves and the have-nots, that divide is getting bigger and bigger, and people are just getting a lot more frustrated and not too shy about expressing it, which I think is a good thing. But like for me personally, I'm always wondering, because I've heard this about people with like complex PTSD and all these other things, right? Like how a lot of this feeling of when you feel things aren't fair and you get really angry about it, it's usually because you were never taught to have or possess your own power or feel empowered. I think that's true to a certain extent, but I also think that there's a part of me that just doesn't like such a blatant grab for power and money and just to take. I fundamentally think that that's just, it's like corrosive to a society and to a country, and I really don't understand why people do it. However, going back to my 3-card pool, what I want to do for myself is, number one, figure out, how do I know when my anger is rooted in trauma? That's the first question. Like, what's the indication that my anger is rooted in trauma? I had the Lover's card. Okay, it's a beautiful card. I think I will know when my anger is more rooted in trauma than it is for the present situation, when I feel detached from myself. I think it's necessary when you're looking at social issues, or you're looking at all the things that are going around or going on in this world or in the country around you, or at work or whatever it is, that you have to, like, I guess it has to feel salient for all your parts. And also, to a certain extent, it feels like maybe you can also release it a little easier. Like you feel empowered by taking action. Like maybe, you can work towards a solution. So I think that I will know when my anger is rooted in trauma versus the present situation, when I feel separate from myself, and when I'm like super duper quick to react, and the anger is like super explosive within myself, and I'm just not being a good steward of myself in the moment. The second question is, when will I know that the anger is because of a situation, or because I'm like fundamentally against what's happening, or I have a sense of justice that is because I wouldn't want to be treated that way. When it's more about an opinion and my own experience, but like in more of a social awareness or community awareness kind of way. So it's like using my experience or my opinion like in a good way to help further society and to help further the equity of myself and other people. So when my anger is going to help a lot of other people, I think that's a good way to describe like how this kind of anger that's rooted in social issues and opinions versus anger rooted in trauma. And I just want to see what an indication for that would be. the Hanged One. Ooh, I really like how her eyes, like the face is also like upside down, and it's a release of shackles. And her body seems very free. She seems very comfortable in that stance. It seems very purposeful. It's like this person is choosing to take this vantage point. So how I know when anger is more of an opinion and it's drawing me to action because I want better for myself and other people, and not because it's just like a reactionary thing from childhood, is when I'm able to look at something in a variety of ways, and I'm looking at it in a way that maybe I've never thought of it before, or I'm looking at it from the perspective of different populations of people that are not my own. So that's looking at it with a different perspective. Like, my thought here is also to make it a little more the higher self aspect of it. Because I feel like, you know, the Hanged One is also like taking us out of our human self and saying, okay, well, if I were treated this way, or if I were treating other people this way, or if I had a chance to make $5 billion, but there are certain business decisions I would have to make to where people who made $50,000 and less and had worse health insurance than I did, they would possibly be sacrificed with their health care. Would I want those billions of dollars for myself and for the shareholders? No, I can 100% say no. I would not do that. And it, like, that anger about it, or that opinion about it, or the response to that makes me feel good. Like, it feels like a good use of anger. It feels like, because anger, as we all know, is like a very potent energy. So yeah. So the last card I'm going to do is what is the best use of my energy, like, or of the anger energy? Like, how do I funnel it to where it's very productive for myself? Like, even when it comes to like jobs, or just like fueling motivation, which of course is like a temporary thing, but I guess anger is too. But anyway, so how do I use it to yield good results and focus? The Crone of Shells. So the King of Pentacles. She's the keeper. That's lovely. And she has like all these little kids around her in a ring, and a lot of light, and she's being celebrated, and the kids are having fun around her. I really love this. Okay, so I think for me, this is like representing my internal state. It's kind of being seated in my own sort of power and my own sort of experience, and knowing that the things that I have gone through and the choices that I've made, it's time to like stop judging them, because I think that's where a lot of toxic anger can come from, is when you don't lay off the judgment. Like, when you continue to carry other people's negativity about you, like, you internalize that and you continue to hold on to it. I think that adds to that trauma kind of anger. But I think here what it's telling me is to embrace where I'm at in my life, because I am getting closer and closer to 50, which I'm very, knocking on wood, which I'm very like grateful. And also like knowing that the inner kid within me, all versions of me, are in support of where I'm at right now because they know that I'm in support of them. It's not perfect, but I feel like all the small steps I've taken in the last 15 years or so has gotten me to this point. And I think that when I'm kind of on the same, when all parts of me are on the same page, and I realize that when I let go of judgmental negative voices that are not my own, the clarity at which I can look at something that promotes kind of an anger or reactionary response can be discerned. It can be more like, is this like a social cause that I believe in? Or is it just something that, like, is this an anger point of me that is being fueled because I was judged for it? Or, you know, like, I wasn't treated a certain way, so why should other people be treated the same way? And I'm going to prevent them from doing X, Y, or Z. Like, see what I'm saying? So, anyways, yes. Very, very cool. Okay, so I'm in the mood to do this oracle, which is the Naughty Oracle. I feel like I've seen this before. It's not new. It's by Naomi Beth. I got it on Amazon, and it's super cute. And it's like this weird energy I think that's happening. And of course, like, I'm kind of dialed in a little more to social media. I really need to get a job. And, you know, just seeing all the news that's happening around the United Healthcare CEO incident that happened yesterday, and just reading different people's comments about it, and it's, you know, and what's been happening in Georgia. Was it starting 3 days ago? Like, refuting, like, wanting to get into the EU, and people rising up over that. What's happening in France? Just all kinds of things. I think people are making their voices heard a little more. I'm also putting in the caveat that I am completely against violence, but it's just, I feel like I'm just like, is this real? Does this happen in every generation? Like, it feels like there's these huge energies that are like it feels like there's some form of momentum happening in a direction that I don't think anyone can really control, because especially the people in power. And on my TikTok, I'm also doing like a few videos on power. I got this book. Where is it? Oh, it's right in front of me. It's The 48 Laws of Power by Robert Greene. I have to be completely transparent. I am not a big fan of this guy. He kind of reminds me in the same vein of like Joe Rogan and a lot of these guys. But I was talking to someone who, God, I'm sorry, I always fool with my hair. And we were, of course, talking about like leadership and politics and whatever. And we were talking about the idea of power. And the idea of power has always like intrigued me. And so I do not like the dude, but I feel like a lot of guys who go for quote unquote power positions, whether it's in business or politics or both, or like in their own lives or in their families, what it is about power that people love so much, other than money and probably like the dating scene or whatever for guys. So I got that. I tried reading it yesterday a little bit. Like, I did a little book divination yesterday on TikTok. But But yeah, so I tried reading it from page 1 and I was just kind of getting grossed out. But I'm trying to do it as a way just to learn more so than anything else. And I got it used for like $9, which I still think is a little too expensive. Anyways, I'm gonna pull this oracle card. Kind of feeling spicy. The exhausted eagle. And this is something that I've been seeing just on social media, how the people, and I like that it's like the American eagle idea. We're just getting there. A lot of people are just tired. I think it's the gaslighting. I think it's everybody, a lot of people, I'm not saying everybody, trying to do things as much as possible within the rules that we've all agreed to play, whether it's in your community, neighborhood, family, when it comes to your money, financial resources, you try to be the best person you can. Of course, we all F up and like get irritated and whatever, but I think this is a great card because like toxic anger can be a sign that you are extremely tired and you need to find people who will either hear you, agree with you, whatever it is that you need to help tell you that, yeah, it sucks, or life is really hard, or, you know, help you understand that you can get through this and you're really feeling exhausted because you also care about what's going on with you, of course, and your loved ones, but also you care about people who are nothing like you because they exist. For the pure fact of like, you wouldn't want to be treated a certain way and other people are treated terribly and you feel bad and it's beginning to wear on you. I think that's a really good idea, is to seek support, to seek someone that you trust, to be like, oh my God, I'm so angry, this is why. So you can get that, you know, you can have the guardrail, so to speak. So it's a great card. Anyways, I'm glad to see you guys. And I'll talk to you soon.